So in jewelry, do you ever have somebody tell you like, well, that's not real jewelry because
Yeah, all the time. There's tons of jewelry snobs.
jewelry snobs?
Yeah, they say, oh, I think your stuff is really cute, like for my daughter, but I only wear real jewelry. I'm using precious metals and real stones. I'm like, if you mean that, like, it exists, it does exist.
Ravi's tips for artists because he loves you.
Hola, you amazing artists! Today we are going to talk about a particular art snob, a medium art snob, as opposed to a large art snob.
Or a small one.
Yeah, this is the art snob that talks down on whatever it is that you're doing because of the particular type of medium that you're using. And most likely, the medium that they are criticizing is acrylic versus oil.
Right. They're like, what medium do you work in? And you're like, oh, whatever. And they're like, ooh. So our question comes from Danielle Kelso. My main question is, how do you handle the oil snobs? I literally had an oil artist laugh in my face when I said I mainly worked in acrylic, like it's not real paint or something.
So acrylic paint is only about 70 years old. So what you're running into is the same thing that happens when, something new hits, like right now, social media is the scourge. Nobody's talking to each other. There are articles that you can find on the internet about how the telephone was the reason why people aren't talking to each other anymore. And there were actually cartoons back when the telegraph was released that showed two people sitting apart from each other telegraphing each other because they were like, oh, it's the scourge of the world now. Nobody's gonna communicate with one another face to face because they're just going to telegraph. Oil medium is something that has been used forever. I mean, that is the standard of what you're supposed to use because that is what the old masters used. A lot of artists that use oil because it is the traditional medium to use, and stating pretty much that unless you use oils, you're not a real artist.
And I would pose the question, don't you think the old masters would have tried out acrylic had they had access to it?
Oh my God, if the old masters had access to acrylic, they most definitely would be using acrylic. They would have been using acrylic for a lot of their projects. The fact of the matter is that oils need to be restored eventually. They will need to be restored in some way, shape, or form. And guess what medium they use to restore oils?
Ooh, I have a guess.
Do you have a guess?
Is it acrylic, Rafi?
Yes, it is.
Oh, what do I get?
Respect.
Sweet. I'll take it.
And I don't have anything against using oils. I love using oils. I love using acrylics. I love using watercolor. I love any medium that is available to me. And the fact of the matter is that I don't need to use a particular medium in order to feel like an artist. And that's basically what those artists are saying that are snobbish like that. And don't get me wrong, because there's also the other spectrum too, the acrylics that are fighting against the oil snobs, and they're like, well, I only use acrylic because oils are subpar material and will not last.
Be gone with your archaic ways.
Thing is that, like, nobody is ever really going to criticize whether or not your painting is oil or acrylic unless it's another artist. It's very rare that the collector worries too much about what the medium or the material is. There are so many benefits to using acrylic. The acrylic, it's very versatile. You are able to mix it with other things. It is non-toxic. It pretty much lasts forever as far as they're concerned. Now, it's only been around for 70 years, so there's still a lot of testing that needs to happen as far as time is concerned, but so far, so good. Stuff that's been created 70 years ago still looks like it was just put on the canvas. A lot of oil painters will be like, well, that's just plastic goop or whatever it is that they're saying to make themselves feel like they are the better artist because of the material that they're using. That just doesn't make sense to me. You are not a better artist because of the materials, because you're using oils and you're not using acrylic. If anything, you are less versatile than an artist that is willing to use oils and willing to use acrylic and willing to use watercolor and willing to use any of the mediums that are available to them out there. And that's pretty much what I would tell any artist that was out there that was going to criticize my work because of the material that I use. And I've had artists out there, in fact, I've had a handful of you guys tell me your artwork will look so much better if you used oil. And I'm like, I use oil in my pieces when I need to use oil in my pieces. I don't want to use oil in the piece. I wanted the look that it's got, and that's why I use the acrylic paint. Breathe, Rafi.
Yeah, just take a pause.
Take a woosah. Woosah. It's one of those things that is so stupid to me, and it is a clear sign that this artist is absolutely and completely insecure if they are using the type of medium that they use in order to identify themselves as an artist versus this person who is not a real artist. Well, you're not a real artist. You don't use oil.
It's really pretty weird to me. I'm like, the difference is like molecular.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And molecularly speaking, oil is subpar to acrylic. It's just what it is. Now, oil is very forgiving. Oil is beautiful when you put it up there.
It is.
Oil is an amazing medium. I love using oil. There's no reason to criticize oil other than the fact that there are people out there who are snobbish about the kind of medium that they use, and they criticize the people that don't use that medium and try to state, well, real art is only oil art. Well, you know what you could do with that idea? You could do...
I was one of those cats that was like, I will never switch from film photography to digital photography. Never. And digital will never surpass film in its quality. I said that.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I was in high school and I didn't know anything. There's always those people. I think at the end of the day, use whatever medium you like and don't be a D-bag about it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't criticize other people because they're using a different medium than you and try to make them feel bad in order to make yourself feel like an artist. If anybody is criticizing the kind of medium that you're using when you are working on a piece, if they're an oil painter and they're saying, oh, I can't believe you use acrylic, blah, blah. Since you're using oils, congratulations. You get a golf clap.
Or if they laugh in your face, just laugh right back with them.
Just laugh louder.
Yeah.
Just laugh louder. And then as they laugh, just be like, and just stare at them. At that point, you don't really want to be friends anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Eventually, they'll probably feel really weird about the whole thing. People just don't know what they're talking about a lot of the time.
I think that it's important to note that people are going to have their perception based on the materials that you use and who you are and what it is that you do, but a lot of that is going to be predetermined by them based on their own ideas of the world.
I think what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Failure
Okay?
to communicate?
I think a lot of people don't understand. It takes some time to get familiar.
Yeah.
And so, like, the masters painted with oils for eons and eons. And so, like, what is this acrylic? It's plastic, right? It's essentially a plastic?
Yeah.
I don't really understand.
Usually what ends up happening is that somebody who's used to painting with oils, because oils are very forgiving, very, very forgiving, and they paint with acrylics, they get lost immediately because acrylics dry very quickly. It is a completely different technique to paint with acrylics than it is to paint with oils. Even if you're using something that causes the acrylics to slow dry, there is no comparison in the way that these two materials work on the canvas or on whatever surface it is that you're painting. Somebody will try the acrylics and just not like it right off the bat and think to themselves, that's subpar material, you can't blah blah, instead of actually investing the time and working in it. Like, it's the same thing as somebody who talks down oils. Unless they invest the time in working in that and learning how to work with oils, you have no right to talk down oils. If you haven't really worked with acrylics and really learned the best parts of using acrylic, then you have absolutely no right to talk down acrylics. If you're going to talk down acrylic, you might as well talk down watercolor. You might as well talk down any other medium that's out there other than oil.
If somebody wants to put you down for the medium that you've chosen, I would take a leaf from your son and just look them dead in the face and be like, are you paint shaming me right now?
Are you?
Did you really just paint shame me?
Like, you need to paint shame me in order to make yourself feel better? Okay, well then, go for it.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yep. And that's it, you guys. Danielle, hopefully that answered your question or gave you some insight into how we feel. Listen, I love using acrylics. I love using oils. I love using latex mediums. Love using ink. I love using watercolor. Whatever medium that I could get my hands on and figure out a way to make it appropriately work for the creations that I'm creating, I love them all. By the way, you guys, my book has been funded completely.
Hooray!
And just to fill you guys in on what's going on with my book, that blurry pile right there is some of the notes really coming together. And now that doesn't mean that you can't go on there and pre-order the book still, because you could still go on there. But my campaign on Indiegogo is funded 100% for the Rogue Artist Survival Guide. So very excited. And like I said, next week I will be going dark, which means that we will not be posting on too many places.
We may pop up here and there, but if we do, it's bonus.
Yeah, we'll be back the week after.
That doesn't mean we're turning evil. It just means that we're busy.
Yeah, we're
It's not like Dark Side Dark.
Yeah, we're not going dark side dark.
We won't be rocking the red lightsabers.
Yeah,
okay?
no. And that's it for today. Is there anything? Oh yeah, and other than us going dark, we will be doing the live stream tomorrow. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, Clee and I will be doing the live stream here on our YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that's still happening. That's not canceled. We will be there. We'll see you there.
Yeah, be there or be square. We'll see you there.
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, I know. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. I totally adore you. And if you like this and you want to watch more like this, you click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. Say goodbye, Clee.
Good day.
Adios.